Rhett Lashlee losing his mind about the December portal window. I think this is a really interesting question. Should the December transfer portal window be eliminated? A lot of coaches have talked about this. Rhett Lashlee, who you're going to hear from in a minute, the head coach at SMU, yesterday talked openly about the fact that he's trying to prepare his ball club for a college football playoff game, while at the same time fending off the vultures who are circling over his roster, trying to pluck his players in the middle of a run through the college football playoff. And Rhett Lashlee advocates for eliminating the December window. So is it wrong to have a December transfer portal window when you still have teams, 12 of them, competing for the biggest prize in college football? Is it impossible to focus on coaching your football team while at the same time trying to defend your flanks? It seems on its face like, yes, that would make it very difficult. But the question that I think a lot of people have is, if you eliminate the December transfer window, aren't you limiting the opportunity for your players and all players to express their abilities and their rights now, according to the NIL house settlement anyway, to transfer at will? Jake, I think this is one of those things where if you eliminate this December transfer portal window, you are going to have those dreaded unintended consequences.
Right. And I think that's exactly what this whole conversation is about and what this whole conversation hinges on. I mean, at some point, someone's got to come out and say that this is just what we have to deal with. I understand that there's a lot of inconveniences. The system is not perfect. There's not a one-size-fits-all solution. But the reality of the situation is, whether it's Rhett or Dabo or Kirby Smart or whoever the hell you want to point to, all these guys are out here complaining about a system that was literally created because everybody was saying that there were envelopes being handed out under tables and there was a bunch of illegal activity and kids couldn't make money and kids deserve to make money. Okay, well, now that we are open about it and we don't have to play this little cat and mouse game about kids making money, now we have this situation where coaches are upset that there's transfer portal windows at the end of the regular season. And that's the portion that I think that Rhett just misses. We're not talking about the regular season here, man. I got news for you, Rhett. With all due respect, and you've had a hell of a year. I think you're doing a phenomenal job. It's nothing to do with you as a football coach per se, but you're not understanding that you and 11 other teams are the only ones playing. There's a boatload of other teams out there that are actually out here trying to improve their roster, that are out here trying to add talent. And I think that's the hard part, is that this is college football playoff teams trying to have it both ways. Hey, we got into the college football playoff. We've got, other coaches and other teams out there trying to take kids off our roster, but we're going to cry, woe is me, because the kids are in finals and there's all this pressure. And I just think that at some point we have to be able to say, look, man, this is the system. You want to play D1, Power 4 football? You want to play at the highest level?
No, do you want to buy your way into?
Yeah, do you want to buy your way into the situation, right? Well, this is what you have to deal with.
In a video in the video tray that Jake has titled Rhett Lashlee Bitching.
Yeah.
Here is SMU football coach Rhett Lashlee talking about the December transfer portal window.
I mean, it's terrible. I feel so awful for our kids and kids around the country. We talk about making a system that is all great for them, but we haven't. I mean, that's part of your job as adults, is to do what's best for young people, not what they want necessarily. And they don't want this. Yes, they want the ability to transfer and go where they want to go if they don't like their situation. Yes, they want the ability to make money on their name, image, and likeness. Neither one of those are bad things. There's no other sport at all that has free agency in the season. It's sad. It's terrible. You hear the story about their backup quarterback saying, "I don't have a choice." That's wrong. That's unacceptable. That's not okay. He shouldn't have to make that decision. Preston here is doing the same thing. Now, he has chosen to stay with us, and we're working with him, but it's still a juggling act for him. Oh, and let's not forget they're in finals right now. So, yeah, the real easy thing is you don't have a transfer portal in December.
You do have a choice. And this is the part that I think a lot of people don't want to talk about. You do have a choice. This crying wolf and everything's terrible. This is how we wound up where we are right now with this transfer portal situation. if your team's in the playoff and you transfer, you're walking away from a chance to win a championship. I understand that opportunities get limited. The longer and longer you wait, the more quarterback jobs are taken. That's the reality of your situation, right? At some point, we can't try to make these situations perfect for everybody. Is being a college football coach difficult? Yes. Is December in the college football playoff and working with the portal difficult? Yes, but you make millions of dollars. Shut up and coach your football team.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing about these guys where the system doesn't work in one aspect, so the whole thing's broken. No, it's not. Would it be great in a utopic, perfect society if we didn't open a transfer window until the day after the college football playoff championship game was decided? Sure. But what about early enrollment? What about bowl practices? What about all of these things that happen in December, January, February? If you don't open a transfer window until January 15th, spring practice is gone for a lot of kids because the semester has already started. So if Preston Stone wants to transfer and he can't do that until January 15th, he can't go and be part of that football program until I think it's July is when he would be at the earliest able to be part of a new football program. Do you understand how difficult that makes it on the kid? Your unintended consequence is Preston Stone can't compete for a starting job at his next university.
Yeah, and I just think that guys like Rhett and any of these other coaches that you hear talking about this, Buddy at Boise State, Brian Kelly, like any of these dudes, they're all out here complaining. And as I, captioned the thing, bitching about the transfer portal. And all I have to say is it not a mistake right now in the bigger picture? If we take a step back and set the transfer portal portion of the conversation aside for a moment, should Rhett Lashlee be talking about the transfer portal, or should he be talking about how in year one they won the league and they're cooking? That's what I'd be talking about.
If it were me, I would systematically change college football in the way that it's executed on the calendar, right? The biggest issue is we have this big fallacy that these kids are here for an education. They're not, right? So what is the problem that eliminating the December portal window creates? Spring practice, ability to compete for a job. Okay. Well, if a kid can't enroll in school, so he can't be part of the football program because the only way that you can practice or be around the team, whatever, the only way you can get benefits, grant money, housing is to be enrolled at the school. So the question is, can we, start spring practice in April instead of February and March? Well, that doesn't solve the problem. So I think what you have to do is and here's where we get into more lawsuits, you would have to have a system that allows kids to enroll January, whatever. You'd have to have that system in place. And I think that's very difficult to do. I think if a kid could enroll in January 15th in classes and not miss any time, I think that solves a lot of problems. But I also think we should start fall camp, not August 1st. I think you should start fall camp in middle to late July. I think you should start playing games in middle to late August so that the season ends in my opinion, before Thanksgiving. The week before Thanksgiving, the season should be, the final game should be played. Yes. Then you give yourself a chance to breathe, give yourself that 2-week window, and start playing playoff games in December.
Yeah.
That's what I would be doing if this is the problem you're trying to solve.
Yeah, and that's kind of my point, is that there's no one-size-fits-all solution here. And every day it seems like there's somebody who's complaining and saying the system is just horrible, and we're doing like he goes on to talk about how like adults aren't doing their job, and like, you know, we're not doing right by the kids. And the reality of the situation is like The system is the system. The kid, there are clearly loads of players thriving in this system.
You asked
dude.
for this.
Yeah, and that's the part.
You asked for
this. That's hard to get around. Is that the SMUs of the world wanted more access. So what did you do? You bought your way in. You then chose to participate in the House settlement, and you wanted more options for your kids. So they can go wherever they want to go.
And I'd remind you, and this is the part that, again, guys like, I think the only guy in the country who's not complaining about this and who totally embraces it is what it is Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is the only guy that would tell you, hey, he doesn't like the system, but it is what it is, right? You got to remember, it's college football. Do you really think the administrators at SMU give a rat's ass that you're having to deal with the transfer portal during the playoff?
No.
They're trying to run a university, bro.
He said, right? Hey, by the way, the kids are in the finals. Okay, cool. That's their responsibility.
You're at a major institution of education.
Did you forget the portion about student athlete? Like, it's what it is.
I think we create all this drama. I don't know how to fix this. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea how to fix this. I'm tired of everybody claiming that every time something changes, it's broken, and it got to be.
Yeah, let's not make the assertion there's like a car that's lit on fire here and the whole system's burning
Does this
down.
really have to be fixed? The answer is no. This is akin, and this is the Mike Gundy complaining about, negotiations are over. You're a football coach in college. Negotiations are never over.
Yeah.
They're never over.
And by the way, I love the comment about how no other sport has free agency in the regular season. I got news for you.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. Because in the NBA, free agency is always happening.
And
trades and free agency and transactions are always going
on. I would also remind you that any major soccer league has transfer windows. Like, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. I understand that empowering kids financially has created unintended consequences.
Yeah, you're still in the college football playoff in year one in the ACC. So stop complaining and start appreciating.
And I think what you're seeing is a lot of kids are in the portal, and it's the Fighting Dillinghams that I always talk about. Here's another guy, Kenny Dillingham, and I saw the comments the other day. Stop sucking off Kenny Dillingham.
Oh, I'm gonna keep sucking off Kenny Dillingham, dude.
This cat that is an Arizona fan, and he's been a listener of the show back to the shitty radio station in Phoenix, talking about how Kenny Dillingham isn't this great coach. And I don't care if he's a good coach or not. Kenny Dillingham gets it.
For our guys that are going in the portal, we've met with most of our guys that are going in. Our guys have the opportunity to stay on our football team. Like, they're like, well, we'll go in at the end. I go, no, that's not fair to you to go in after our run is over. Like, I want you to have the best opportunity to find a spot. You can go in right now, day one. We'll help you find a spot and stay on our football team if you want to stay on our football team, and let's go on this ride together the rest of the way. But I didn't want those guys to feel like they had to wait to go in because they wanted an opportunity to have a bigger role for a program until after the CFP. I think that would have hurt their chances. So I made it very clear to the guys that you can stay on the team as long as you do what you're supposed to do, just like you're on the team. Go to meetings, show up, be 5 minutes early, check in, weigh in, go to workouts. Even if you go in the portal here, that doesn't affect me at all. That's just us being on the same page, trying to help you achieve what you want to achieve in your career.
It's not that difficult.
It's really not.
Right? To me, if a kid wants to transfer, you are being punitive I'm not trying to use big words, but you're punishing him if you say, well, then get the hell out of here. If a kid wants to transfer, let him transfer, but that doesn't mean he shouldn't go through your bowl run.
Pack this thing up. We're out of here.
Does Penn State really need their quarterback, their backup quarterback, to step away from the team? No, it's not. Let him stay with the team. Unless he is an absolute problem or a cancer in the locker room, whatever, there's no reason to ostracize kids.
It's my quarterback.
Right? This is the targeting. Remember when if you got called for targeting and you were ejected, they made you leave the sideline? Why did we change that? Because there's no reason to ostracize the kid. Why ostracize or punish them
Just
more?
take his helmet.
right? Yeah. And that's exactly what they do. So let the kid play on the team. And if he wants to transfer after your run's over, great. Let him transfer. Kenny Dillingham and Deion Sanders have perspective. Rhett Lashlee does not.
Agreed.
And I get it. It sucks if you're a coach. It absolutely sucks. Do you really think that having a transfer window in December is bad for the kid? I got news for you. It's not. It's not. It's bad for the coach and the coaching staff because it's a distraction for them.
Yeah, it's just the classic, how do you view this situation, right? I mean, it's the classic, hey, you can be positive with it or you can be negative with it, right?
Yes.
We can sit here and cry a river, or we can sit here and talk about how much it's improved SMU and how much SMU has benefited from it, and how much the transfer portal has allowed them to add talent that has inevitably, helped them go on this college football playoff run. Like, that's what surprises me about what Rhett is doing right now. I've known him to be, in his time at SMU, to be someone that, generally speaking, is a positive guy, is looking to bring that kind of energy. He's not someone that's like always negative and always like, speaking down on stuff. But so I was surprised when he came out and took this stance and chose to use the college football playoff media availability to talk about some broken system and some terrible environment.
Or talk about Preston Stone. And
like,
you're really going to make Preston Stone stop being around the club, a captain on your football team, because he's in the portal and he's looking for a new job. He can't be around your team anymore. That's a you decision.
Yeah,
Rhett.
dude. That's not a system decision.
Yeah, it makes me crazy because Rhett Lashlee's a good coach.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, he really actually does care about his players.
But there is a ton of hypocrisy in what he's saying.
I don't agree with it. That's a big word. Are you using bigger words because it's your birthday?
Well, now that I'm 31, like I can really start to step into my own and use bigger words and move on from single vowel words,
I think I should be the one to get gifts on your birthday. I mean, I'm the one that gave birth to you.
I doubt that.
Right. Well, I didn't technically pop you out of my squat, but my point is I made it possible.
Right.
I took a bullet for you to be born.
Right.
I mean, let's get to the comments section. As always, who's the last one in? Let's not read the top comments. Jay McClenahan. Here is where it would get bad. If there becomes more money to lure kids away from the top 12 in college football playoff before it begins and possibly pull a Marshall, that would be the only way. Marshall withdrew from their bowl game but are kids really walking away from who's the worst team in the college football playoff? Clemson? Boise? Are you walking? If you're on the Boise State football roster right now?
No, you're not walking away. And by the way, again, with all due respect, Jay, appreciate the comment, man. If you're on a roster that's in the college football playoff and you're a portal kid and you're getting an offer from another program, you're going to take the offer, but you're still going to play in the games.
And I would go as far as to say, if we have 105 on a roster, right?
Yeah.
If you're top 75 on that roster, you're not walking away. You're playing meaningful reps.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a true freshman, if you're one of those kids Deion talks about, if you're a true freshman that's redshirting and you get in the portal, okay, great. Good luck. Right? But that's not who we're talking about. But who's the major star that's walked away from their football team and walked away from the college football playoff in the portal? You just don't see it. And I would go as far as to say, if a major star walks away from a team in the portal while they're in the college football playoff, that kid's not probably going to get a job somewhere. Because who wants that kid? Your team if one of your top 22 players, right, a starter on offense or defense,
right,
walks away from your team in the college football playoff for a portal offer, I would be stunned.
It's an indictment on you, bro.
Yeah, it's character.
It's not an indictment on the new team.
It's an indictment on the kid's character and the culture in that locker room.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that. Eric and Raleigh, if my opponent in the college football playoff has a backup QB entering the portal, I'm offering as much money as I can to get that kid to give me information about his old team.
Okay.
Maybe. And donuts. Spencer at Boise said yesterday they're open for transfers to play out in the bowl prior to leaving.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's
Yes.
like you're not gonna like if you're doing this the right way, you're taking the Dillingham approach, the prime approach, the
Dilly.
you know, yeah, you're letting these kids play the bowl game, play the CFP game, and then they can get on with the business of it.
Lopes fan Gabe says hit the like button. Lopes fan Gabe going savage in the comment section on me yesterday, saying that we were only talking about Michael Vick for 2 hours of content.
We didn't talk about Mike Vick the whole time.
No, we talked about Mike Vick for like 37 minutes, I think, yesterday or something.
What do you mean, bro?
We'll talk. He took the job at Norfolk State, by the way. So did not take the job at Sac State. And I think we'll talk about it in about 40 minutes. We'll get to Mike Vick at Norfolk State. But appreciate you hitting the like button, Gabe. See, here's the thing that I appreciate on this show. Even though it's Jake's birthday today, I'll bring this up. I think we need to have important conversations because so many other people won't do it. But we've gotten to a place now where, and I went to the top of the comments. Look at Mike Smith's comment here. Mike Smith doesn't want to talk about Mike Vick because he's got pit bulls himself. And I understand that. But I think it's one of those conversations we have to have.
Mm.
That's what I think. See, I don't view us as like we're special and unique. We're not. We're just a bunch of dudes who get together every day and we talk about the biggest stories in sports. I mean, at the core of the show, isn't that what we do?
Mm-hmm.
So if we're avoiding transfer portal or if we're avoiding Mike Vick or wait till you hear Jerry Jones talk about eating raccoons.
Oh, dear. Oh, my.
Bill Belichick's nipples. Like, we have to be, if we're going to talk about a dude's nipples, don't we have to talk about Mike Vick and getting the head coaching job at Sac State? I think we do. And I appreciated Lopes fan Gabe having such a passionate comment about it.
Yeah.
And I don't take that personally. I think it's really important that we have those conversations. Welcome to the nightmare. Good morning, guys. Looking forward to a great last show of 2024. Eric in Durham, the Big 12 sucks. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
Great last show or last great show? I guess we'll find out next.
Yeah, apparently.
Exactly. 2024 Aztec football, good riddance. Yeah, seriously. Can we move? Guys, hey, thanks for coming, West Virginia. Thankfully, that season's over, right? Rock and Rant. Good morning, Rock and Rant. Haven't seen you in a minute. Good morning. Thanks for for alternatively making me totally agree with you and wanting to never watch you again throughout the year. You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome, bro. That's kind of what we do on this show, you know?
That's what that right there, Rock and Rant, that's exactly right. That's what this show's about. I don't ask you guys to agree with us. I ask you not to be idiots about your disagreements.
That's what they do.
Like, I love having an exchange of ideas. I don't have to agree with you. That doesn't make you wrong. You don't have to agree with me. It doesn't make me wrong. Unless you're Eric and Raleigh. I'm telling you right now, bet a Boise State loss like the game has already been played.
Damn.
Yeah, no duh.
Dev MC says, happy birthday, Jake. Force Ghost Fabio, hello. Do we read just every comment today, no matter what? Last show of 2024.
Yeah, I mean, I think things that are available in the comment section are, what are your guys' holiday plans? You know, what do you think of this conversation we're talking about with Rhett Lashlee?
Yeah.
You know, it's the last show. I mean, have fun with it, man.
Jay Chapman, portal shouldn't open until January 15th. And a lot of people are using that date. And I just...
Yeah, hey.
The portal only exists for the kid. It doesn't exist for the team.
Yeah.
Right? The portal exists for the kid. January 15th is not good for the kid. And Jay, maybe you have an idea of what you think about that. Lopes fan Gabe for $5. If coaches start taking the dilly approach, I love that we're calling him dilly.
Dilly.
And again, I in the comment section, do you guys like Kenny Dillingham? He's not for everybody. There's a large group of people They mostly live in Tucson who think he's like a fake cartoon character type guy.
Right.
I think he's incredibly genuine. And there ain't a whole lot I like about Arizona State, I'll be honest with you. Bobby Hurley's a dick. Michael Crow is, well, yeah.
Michael Crow.
You know. There's not a whole lot I like about Arizona State. I don't know how you root against Arizona State and Kenny Dillingham football. I don't know. How long until we see the first kid take an injury while in the portal but finishing out the season? That's really interesting. So you get in the portal, you're transferring, and then you blow your knee out. Or your scrotum tears. It's Jake's birthday, after all.
I think that's HIPAA.
I think that is HIPAA. Don't think we can disclose that one.
I'm going to go ahead and pass on that.
You get injured while you're in the portal. Ooh, Isaac Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see Isaac Wilson at Utah? Coming back to Utah. Put his name in the portal, pretty much dipped his wick. Didn't like what he found, came back to Utah. It's an interesting point, Gabe. I think that's a really interesting question. You guys know we're going to see that.
Yeah.
We're going to see
Schemers.
RX. It's insane that SMU was able to keep Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
When will 2-year contracts come into play? Well, that's something else a lot of people are talking about. Because look how many kids aren't opting out of bowls this year. Some are. Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, they opting out of bowl games? They're not. A lot of people aren't. Bo did what he believed to be best for his football future. So as a Penn State fan, I hate the timing, but I get it. Rock in a hard place.
Stay hard.
I agree. I think if you're a second-tier quarterback, and Bo certainly is a second-tier quarterback, right? That has an opportunity to compete for a starting job, how do you say no to that? I don't think you can. I really don't think you can. I don't know how. I don't think you can. But that's just me. Smash the numbers, Ferris Khan. Good morning, Ferris. SMU has the same logo as a Ford Mustang, only in reverse.
Man, that's just that the depth of that comment is just incredible to me. You know.
So I went to Chipotle yesterday for lunch. Took my dog with me. I got out of the old Jeep, and there was a Ford Mustang 350 GT 350 track pack sitting in the parking lot. And the greatest moment of my day yesterday was the 70-something-year-old man who walked out of, there's a pizza place next to Chipotle, near Chipotle. He walks out of the pizza place with a slice of pizza in a box. And he's standing in front of the car eating the pizza. And I said to him, "You're not going to take that piece of pizza in the car, are you?" He said, "Absolutely not."
Nope. Hell no.
And then you know what he did? I said to the guy, "You're going to have to start that for me." And it is if you have not stood behind a Mustang GT 350 and a 500 even more, the sound of that car when it's got and it comes stock with a beautiful exhaust system on it. So good.
What's an erection?
Bright yellow with a black racing stripe and the most beautiful diffuser on the back. Oh my God. I'm not a Mustang guy. I would take that Mustang.
That Mustang is nice.
He said that he has a 1960 something, I think, fastback in his garage under a cover. He loves his Mustang so much that he has a floor heater built into his garage so that the seals don't shrink during the winter. That's a dude who loves his cars.
Committed.
So, Ferris, good job this morning. Good to see you, my friend. Calford, how are you, bud? Cal has our starting quarterback transferring out, indeed. Indeed. And donuts. Spencer, I read that one already. I'm a terrible person. Please forgive me. Chad, how we feeling?
I'm back for more Mike Vick talk.
How we feeling this morning? Because I think you'd rather talk Mike Vick than if you're going to win a playoff game.
And with all due respect,
Bro, now your only saving grace is that you're not going to have to come in here and take a beating on Monday after this game that you lose over the weekend.
Man, I want Ohio State to win so badly.
You just can't believe in it, dude.
For Ohio State fans, but the Chad Carter, Mike Vick hangs Christmas decorations on October 1st. So are we going to play the Mike Vick's the type of guy who ... hangs Christmas ornaments?
All right, I'll allow it. It's the last show of the year, dude. I'll allow it. You guys want to have fun with that? Go ahead.
Oh, Jake's going to allow
Go
it
ahead.
now.
Yeah. I won't blow you guys up over it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hyenas.
UW fan Jim, how about Big Penix Energy?
Does he see the field before the season's over?
Yeah, he's starting. Did
they announce that?
Well, not technically, but Michael Penix is the starting quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons. And I think, do you guys understand that they're paying Kirk Cousins $62.5 million this year? And he has $100 million guaranteed. And if he gets cut post June 1st, they'll have $25 million in dead cap money for the next 2 years.